ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. My name is Cody, and today I am here to give you my round 3 NRL tips of 2024. Last week we did an improvement over round 1. Last week we managed to get 5 out of 8 games correct. The only 3 teams that let me down were Rabbits. We lost the Broncos, obviously, in convincing fashion. Eels just lost to the Panthers in a great game between each other, and the Dragons flopped and flogged against the Dolphins. Did not expect that coming, but my goodness, the Dragons were that bad. But every other game we got correct, so at the moment we are currently 7 out of 16, which is roughly around 48% or so in the winning percentage. But anyways, I'm here to give you my round 3 NRL tips. But before we get into it, I just want to say, if you are new around here, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you can consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like, as we are on the road to 1,400 subscribers. As of this recording, around 6 PM on Tuesday afternoon rather, here in New South Wales, I am less than 10 subscribers away from 1,400. I hope we can get to 1,400 by the end of this week, and this is going to be one exciting week, as I'll get into it throughout the video. But if you can do that, that'll be really much appreciated, guys. Also for your support, I will not be doing this. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into the tips. And the first game we have coming up on Thursday night. It's the grand final rematch. It is the Penrith Panthers taking on the Brisbane Broncos up down there at Bluebet Stadium, and this will be one of the 4 games I will be attending for this week. Yes, I am attending not just one game, I'm attending 4 games. And the first one will be the grand final rematch at Bluebet between the 10th place Panthers and the 9th place Broncos. Now, both teams managed to finally get their first win of the season. Panthers in a great match against the Eels, winning 26 points to 18. And as for the Broncos, they beat my boys after losing to the Roosters up there in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. Broncos won 28-18 in front of their home faithful at Suncorp Stadium. Good wins for both teams, but this is the grand final rematch. Penrith are the three-peat premiers. The Broncos are looking to get revenge against them, but can the Broncos pull it off without their skipper? Now, we'll just go through the betting odds at the moment. So currently, the Panthers are favourites at $1.33, and the Broncos are outsiders at $3.36. So going through the team list changes here for the Panthers, James Fisher-Harris will be out of action due to a shoulder injury. So Lindsay Smith has been named a partner with Moses Leota in the front row. After being called up for a late change last Friday, Dane Laurie will be named at number 14, with Sonny Luke listed as 18th man. Forward Matt Hyson is the new face on the bench. As for the Broncos, the loss of Adam Ringle's skipper to a knee injury is a massive blow for him. So Panthers are going to be looking at that and going for the halves there, as they have got Jock Madden coming into the side filling for Adam Reynolds, and forward leader Payne Haas is good to go despite experiencing knee pain in last week's win against the Rabbitohs. So quite tough there for the Broncos, but they could pull it off. You never know. Alright, in the past 10 games between these two, Panthers have had the wood over the Broncos. They have won 6 of the past 10. Sorry, 7 of the past. Yeah, 6 of the past 10. Sorry, with Penrith winning 6 of the last 7 and winning 4 of the last 5 games. However, the last time these two played at Bluebet, Broncos won by 1 point in very wet conditions down at Bluebet, winning 13 points to 12 in round 1 last year. And then the other two played at Suncorp. Penrith won that one 15 points to 4. And then the grand final last year, obviously, Broncos were leading but 24 points to 8 with the last 15 or 20 minutes to go. And then Penrith found a way to come back to win 26-24. The biggest comeback in NRL Grand Final history since 1998. So, this is going to be one good game to watch, but I think it will go one way from here. I'll be shocked if this team will win. For this game, I will go Panthers to win this one. Now, I don't want to be called bold here, but with the loss of Adam Reynolds and Payne Haas suffering some knee pain, and it could be dropped out within 24 to 48 hours before the big game. I think Panthers will win this one 13 plus. I know that's a bit bold there, but I think Panthers will win this one big. I'll go Panthers to win by 16. Scoreline will go 28-12. And for our first try scorer, we'll go Dylan Edwards there at Panthers, the Panthers fullback. And for a Broncos try scorer, we'll go Cobbo there in the center. So Panthers to win 13 plus. Okay, so now we move on to our first of two Friday night games. We are going to Apollo Project Stadium down there in Christchurch on the South Island. For the first time since 2018, when it was formerly known as Rugby League Park, the Warriors are taking a home game there against the Canberra Raiders. Warriors in 14th with the Raiders in first. Now, last week, the Raiders beat the Tigers in convincing fashion last week at GIO Stadium, winning 32 points to 12. And as for the Warriors, they just lost in a high-scoring match against the Storm down there at Amy Park with a 15-game losing streak continuing, losing 30 points to 26. Now, looking at the bets for this game so far, Warriors are at favourites at $1.45, with the Raiders outsiders at $2.76, which it's not too surprising, but Warriors have had a good record in New Zealand. I believe they've won like 12 of the last 16 or 17 games in New Zealand as well. And this will be the Warriors' third time going to this ground. They played Penrith and Manly, I believe, with Warriors winning one win and one loss there. So they've got a 1-1 record. And this will be the Raiders' first time at this ground. And Warriors have signed a 3-year agreement, so they will take one game here this year and next year, and at a different ground in Christchurch, I think, as well, in 2026. So good on the Warriors for doing that. Now, looking through the team list for both of them, it seems like other than Wayne Egan, the withdrawing from the game last week, he is being named to start. Charles Harris-Davida has been included in the wider squad as bench hooker, covered should Egan be ruled out. Still no sign of Marty Nurakora and Chuckle-Nickel Clockster. They're still a few weeks away. And as for the Raiders, Elliot Whitehead returns from a layoff with a groin injury, which bumps Zach Hosking back to the bench and Arthur Mariner out of the 17. The loss of Sebastian Chris to concussion means Nick Cottridge has recalled after missing out last week. He'll line up on the wing with Albert Hopperwade shifting the centre. So it's good Nick Cottridge should play, but obviously you can't have everyone in the back line, but you can have who you can have. Now we'll just go through the head-to-head for both teams. In the past 10 games between the Warriors and Raiders, it has been 5 games apiece. However, Warriors have won 3 of the past 4 games, winning the last 2. And the last time the Raiders had won in New Zealand was in 2019, when they flogged the Warriors 46 points to 12, but that was at Mount Smart Stadium. So this will be the Raiders' first time back in New Zealand after returning there in 2023, losing by 1 point in an incredible game, 21 points to 20. So for this game, who do I have winning? Well, even though people may say they can go for the Warriors and they do very well there in New Zealand, I'm going to do quite the opposite here. Now, I know Raiders have won 2 in a row against a great 5th place Newcastle last year and demolishing the West Tigers, who came off their first bye of the year. But I think the Raiders can still pull this off. I reckon Raiders will win this one. I'll go Raiders to win by 1-12. But only by 4, though. Only by 4. So I reckon scoreline we will go 18-14. And for an anytime try scorer from the Raiders, I will go, let's go Xavier Savage. And from the Warriors, let's go. Oh, no, he had a bad game last week, but I reckon Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I reckon he will get a try for the Warriors this week. So Raiders to win by 4. Alrighty. We move on to the big one. This will be the second game I will be attending. Of course, I am talking about the most intense, the two most hated teams, the most historic and most talked about rivalry in NRL history. I am only talking about the one and only biggest Sydney derby. It is the sluts themselves, the Sydney cocksuckers, the Sydney Roosters, taking on my boys, the South Sydney Rabbitohs, at Allianz Stadium, kicking off at 8 p.m. Friday night. Now, before we get into the team list and changes and shit, I'll go for the betting odds first. The Roosters are at favourites at $1.69. And the Rabbitohs are outsiders at $2.18. The Roosters are currently in 8th, with the Rabbitohs in 16th. The Roosters lost to the Sea Eagles down at Brookie on Sunday, losing 21 points to 14, which that was good. And as for Rabbits, we've suffered our second consecutive loss. I don't know what happened in that game. We were just awful. We lost 28-18 against the Broncos. Broncos led 12-0 at half-time. And then somehow within the first 10 minutes of the second half, we caught up to make it 12-all. But after that, it was just flat there until we got the final try with Latrell Mitchell. I don't know what's going on with the Bunnies, honestly. And also, yes, it's already confirmed. Lachlan Ilias has been dropped for this game for how he was been playing for the last 2 weeks. Honestly, I do agree with this. I think he should step down from first grade for a while and just play reserve grade for a couple of weeks, give him bumped up, and then he'll be back in the starting 17 in the next few weeks. I'm glad that this has happened. Now, let's go through the team changes. So, Luke Keary is out with a concussion, with Sanders Smith going to play alongside Sam Walker in the half. Sue Wong has been dropped to reserve, with Nat Butcher joining the starting side. And Angus Crichton will be set to play his first game of the year off the bench. Utility Connor Watson makes his long-awaited return at Jersey 14 for his first game since the 2022 qualifying match final. Jared Ruia-Hargraves will run out to play his 300th game after debuting for Manly in 2009. So congrats to him, but I'm not going to say congratulations to any of these fuckwits here. It's game on. Win or lose here for both teams, but mainly for my team. Now, as for the Rabbitohs, obviously the big one is Lachlan Ilias has been dropped. Dean Hawkins is named at number 7, with Ilias dropped to reserves. Jack Whiten finally makes his Rabbitohs debut against the Roosters after serve his suspension for the last 2 games. He will be in the centres with Isaiah Tash. Richie Kenner finally dropping out of the side, which is good. And Isaiah and Tane Mill goes to the wing. Now, Davey Moawi, who scored a try last week, has been promoted to the prop position, with Sean Cappy reverting to the bench. Jacob Edge is the new one on the bench, which I disagree, with Shaq Mitchell in the reserves after starting against the Broncos in round 2. I disagree. I think Shaq should be playing instead of Jacob Host. I mean, nothing against Jacob Host. Shaq Mitchell is just better in general. But there's all the changes for both sides, mainly outside. I reckon we've got a better looking squad with the exception of Jacob Host. I mean, great to see Davey Malawi get a chance there in the prop position. Hopefully he doesn't get switched before game kicks off. But obviously I will be here for this game. This will be the most intense game I will go to this year, even though this will only be my second game I've gone to this year in the regular season, not counting the Cherry Shield or the other trial game I went in February. But I'm going to be screaming my fucking head off at this game. I just hope we get the fucking win. Alright, in the last 10 games between these two, it has been 5 games apiece. However, Roosters have won 3 of the last 4, with our last win against the Roosters in the elimination qualifying final, where there were 7 sin bins at Allianz Stadium, where we won 30 points to 14. Then we eliminated the Sharks the second week, and then we lost to the Panthers the following week in the preliminary final 2022. Now, last time we played, Roosters kicked us out of the top 8, and they finished in 7th last year. Now it's our turn to get our vengeance. Now, since the opening of Allianz back in 2022, the new one, Roosters have got a 2-1 record against us, with them winning the first game 26-16 and winning the most recent game at Allianz against us 2018 in round 3 last year. And our only win against them at the new Allianz was in the finals, where we've beaten them 30 points to 14 in that 7 Sin Sunday saga. So, I don't need to let you know who I'm going to be going for. I'm obviously going to go to the Rabbitohs. Fuck the Roosters for this game. I know there's a lot of Roosters supporters that I enjoy, but everything's going to be taken out of this game. I'm going to be full bias for all of this game. Screw the Roosters fans that will be there at Allianz. I'm going to be ready for a massive, good fucking game. Let's bring it on. Rabbitohs win by 8. Scoreline 18-10. First try scorer, Jack Whiten. Anytime Latrell Mitchell. And I guess for a Roosters anytime try scorer, I guess I'll go Dom Young. But Rabbits to win by 8. Let's go, boys. Alright, now we move on to Super Saturday, the first of 3 games. The first game kicking off at 3 p.m. down at Belmore Sports Ground. It is the 17th place Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs taking on the Gold Coast Titans, who are currently in 13th. Now, Bulldogs are just favourites here at the moment at $1.83, with Titans as outsiders at $1.94. Now, last week, the Titans are coming off their first bye of the year after they were destroyed against the Dragons in round 1, losing 28 points to 4 at Seabus. And as for the Dogs, well, they were a bit good for most of the game against the Sharks last week. However, they still lost 25 points to 6, and now they are currently in last place. Same new players, same old Bulldogs. 3rd year in a row, or 4th year in a row now. This is going to be a terrible, terrible game to watch. This is going to be at least the worst game to watch this round. This is also emanating from Belmore Sports Ground, which, funny enough, this is not the first time Bulldogs and Titans have played at this venue. The first time these two played at Belmore, Titans won. The only time they played, Titans won that one 32 points to 10, and that was in 2018. And that's the year that... No, that was the year that Eels got the spoon, Now, in the past 10 games between these two, it has been it has been 5 games apiece, with the Dogs winning 2 of the last 3 games. However, the Titans have won the last game between these two, which was in the final round of last year, winning 34 points to 30 up there at Seabus Super Stadium. And now going through the team list for both of them, just one change for Cameron Casado with the Bulldogs, with Lee Knight coming in for prop forward, Pasala Malawi, who suffered a concussion against the Sharks. Josh Adokar remains sidelined as he recovers from a shoulder injury. Kieran Foran returns to the half after dropping out last week alongside Tanner Boyd, so Tom Weaver goes to reserves. Jalaman Jolov has been named to start at lock, with Isaac Lewis shifting to the bench, and the only other change that went down to the Dragons. So, not many changes for both sides. Jane Campbell and David Fafita are still at least a week or two away, or something like that. But this is going to be a shit game to watch, honestly. I don't care who wins this one. I know this one was probably arguably the toughest one to tip. However, I will side the Titans on this one. I know, yes, Bulldogs have been doing better than the Titans, but they've had the bye. Dogs haven't had a bye yet. But Bulldogs have also got a terrible record at Belmar, like losing the last 9 games out of 10 or 11 or something like that. So I'll go Titans win by 2. Scoreline 10 points to 8. It's going to be a shit game, this one. For a try scorer, I'm just going to go with a anytime from Titans. We'll go Khan Pereira. This is going to be such a shit game to fucking watch. Now we move on to the second Super Saturday game. The third game I will be attending at the Strata Jubilee Oval for the second time this year I'm going there. It is the St George Illawarra Dragons, who had a flopping game, who got flogged, you sit currently in 11th place, against the second place North Queensland Cowboys. Now, last week, Dragons were flogged 38-0 against the Dolphins after they flogged the Titans in round 1. How does that work? Dragons flog Dolphins one week and then Dragons get flogged by the Dolphins. Oh, sorry, they flogged the Titans, sorry, and then they are flogged by the Dolphins 38-0 up there at KO Stadium on the weekend. That's just honestly funny. That means Dragons are not a threat this year. They're still going to fit. They were just proven that that round 1 win was just a fucking fluke. And oh boy, they're going to get destroyed this week again. That's for sure. Now, currently looking at the betting odds, Dragons are the outsiders at $3.04, with the Cowboys are the nice juicy favourites, $1.39. Now, going through the team list for both teams, Jack DeBellin moves to prop for the suspension Frozen Molo, with Leicester Leilua promoted to the starting side. Jesse Muskin makes his NRL debut at hooker in place of Jacob Little. Congratulations to that young man, or Jacob Little concussion. Viliami Fafita joins the bench after being 18th man last week. Hame Saleh, former Rabbitohs player, remains sidelined with a hamstring injury, but should be in the frame for selection for round 4. And as for the Cowboys, Liam Lukey is set to miss the next 6 weeks with an ankle injury, so Kofi Fiowaki joins the starting side, and Jack Gowski is the new face on the bench. Tom Chester is listed as 18th man after Thomas Milwaukee filled that role last week. So, not too bad there. I reckon Cowboys played well against the Knights last week. Managed to just win 21 points to fucking 20. My fucking God. From Chad Townsend. They were very lucky to come back in that game and just beat the Knights. They were so lucky. But anyways, in the past 10 games between these two, Cowboys have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning the last 4 games. The last time the Dragons won against the Cowboys was in 2021, where they beat them 25 points to 18, and that was up there at Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Last time the Dragons, however, beat the Cowboys at the Strata Jubilee was a decade ago in 2014, where they won 27 points to 24. Before this game, Cowboys and the Dragons have only played 2 games at Cogra between 2014 and this year. First one being in 2014, and then the most recent one in 2022, where Cowboys flogged them 34 points to 8. So, most of the games, if they've been played in New South Wales, have been down in Sydney. Wollongong, sorry. So for this one, obviously, this one's a no-shocker. Cowboys 13+. Cowboys to win by 20. Scoreline, let's go 30 points to 10. And the first try scorer, let's go Scotty Drinkwater. And the anytime try scorer, let's go Zach Laybutt there in the centres. All right, Cowboys 13 plus. Now we move on to the final Super Saturday night game, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. down there at Leichhardt Oval. We have the West Tigers, who suffered their first loss against the Raiders, currently in 12th, I believe, against the Cronulla Sharks, who surprisingly sit in 3rd place. Now, the Sharks currently are favourites for heading into this one at $1.21, with the West Tigers at $4.45. Wow. Now, last week, the Sharks managed to beat the Bulldogs 25 points to 6 there at points bet last week. And as for the Tigers, they played their first match last week, losing to the Raiders down there at GIO Stadium last weekend, losing 32 points to 12. So not a good start for the new coach under Benji Marshall and the Tigers club themselves. Now, going through the team list for both of them. West Tigers, Justin Olam is good to go after recovering from knee injury. He joins last week's debut on Simona Falatape in the centres, with Stafford Toa to miss 8 weeks undergoing an ankle injury. Aiden Caesar has been promoted to start the game at number 7, with Jaden Sullivan shifted to the bench. Noah Poe is named to start, along with Alex Seyfried moving to the bench. For the Sharks, Britton Nakora suspension sees Jax Williams move into the starting side. Royce Hunt returns after missing last week due to a virus. Billy Burns comes onto the bench for Tui Haki Hue and is set to make his club NRL debut. So congratulations. Congratulations to him. Oh, sorry, his club debut. Sorry, not looking at it the wrong way. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, the Sharks have won 9 of the past 10. However, the Sharks have won 10 of the past 12 against the Sharks, which includes winning last four straight. Last time Tigers won against the Sharks was in 2020, winning 28 points to 16. The last time the Tigers beat the Sharks at Leichhardt was in 2014, a decade ago, in the final round of that year, where they won 26 points to 10. So they've played 2 other games at Leichhardt in 2017 and 2019 respectively, with the Sharks winning 22-16 in 2017 and 2019 winning 25 points to 8. So the Tigers have not been good against the Sharks in recent form. So as for that, Sharks to win this one 13 plus by 22. I'll go scoreline 36-14. First try scorer will go Ronaldo Molitello. And for our anytime try scorer, let's go Nicholas Hines there in the half. Sharks 13 plus. Now we move on to the Sunday ticket. The first of 2 games. The final game I will be attending is at 4 o'clock. First time there at Combank Stadium. It is a rivalry game. We have the Parramatta Eels, who lost to Penrith slightly last week, going against the merely Warringah Sea Eagles, who beat the Roosters in comfortable fashion. Last week, the Eels just lost in a great game against the Panthers. Panthers finally snapping their 4 or 5 game losing streak in the regular season against the Eels, winning 26-18. And as for Manly, they beat the Roosters down there at their first game at 4 Pines Park, winning 21 points to 14. Now, currently, Eels are favourites at this one, very close at $1.86, with Manly at $1.98. So this could change by the time this game goes ahead, but we'll just wait and see. Now, as going through the team list for both teams, Morgan Harper for the Eels. Morgan Harper moves into the wing to cover Bailey Summers, who suffered a head knock, with Blaze Taranaki into the centres for his NRL debut. Congratulations to Blaze Talangi. Luca Morordi has been promoted to the bench, with Brendan Hance dropping to reserves. Wow, that's huge. Kamotalungi has been named on the bench despite suffering a shoulder injury against the Panthers. Regan Campbell-Gillard will make his 200th NRL appearance. Congratulations to Regan Campbell-Gillard. And as for Manly, Tommy Talau has won the reserves after suffering an ankle injury against the Roosters, with Raymond Tuli Maynard Vega named to start. This is the only change that downed the Roosters last week. Josh Schuster looks set to again line up in New South Wales Cup. So this one's going to be another tough game to tip as well. However, let's go into the head-to-head and see how it's played out. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, it also has been 5 games apiece. However, since 2019, the Eels have won 4 of the 5 games at CommBank versus Manly. The only game they lost to Manly at CommBank was in 2021, where Manly won 28 points to 6. Since then, Manly have not beaten the Eels at CommBank. Could that happen this week, though? I believe it will, because for this game, even though it's a tough game to tip, and it's a top 8 battle as well, I reckon Manly would just win this one by 2 points. We go 20 points to 18, and I reckon this will go to Golden Point, and Daly Terry Evans will kick a 40-metre or more 2-point field goal to win for the Manly Sea Eagles. I can see Manly going 3-0. They've been, even though we lost to them in round 1 and they downed the Roosters last week, they've been playing phenomenal. Now, for a first try scorer, obviously I'll go Tom Tavojevic. For an anytime try scorer, we'll go Ruben Garrick. This is going to be such a great game to watch and to be at CommBank for the first time ever. I don't know how it's like, but I heard it's similar to Allianz. So, first time going to CommBank. I hope I'll have a great time watching this game. But Manly to win by 2 points. Now we move on to the final game of round 3 of the 2024 NRL season. We have the Newcastle Knights, who only just lost by 1 point against the Cowboys, who currently sit in 14th at the moment. They are playing against the Melbourne Storm, who only just managed to sneakily win against the Warriors, 30 points to 26. Now, with current odds at the moment... Sorry, Knights are in 15th, my apologies. Titans are the ones that are in 14th. Now, with the live odds at the moment, it has been changed significantly. As of 7 p.m. Tuesday night, Knights are at $1.90, and as for Melbourne, they're at $1.93, which I'll get into in a sec why that has changed with suspensions. But wow, this was not what I was expecting, and I knew Jerome Hughes was going to fight it, but obviously he lost, so he'll be suspended for, I believe that is 2 games he's gone for, so we'll have new halves combinations now. But before we get to Melbourne, let's get to the Knights first. So, former Panthers, Jag Cogger, he's the new halfback with Jackson Hastings to the reserves. What? Why is Jackson Hastings in the reserves? That's just such a dumb move. Should probably get rid of Tyson Gamble for that. Fuck me. Co-captain Jane Brayley has recovered from a hamstring injury and will return for his first game onto the bench. Inara Tallulah returns from a quad injury on the wing to fill the void by Greg Marshall, who's set to go undergo surgery for a fractured scapula and will be sidelined for 4 to 6 weeks. For Melbourne, here it comes. Jerome Hughes is suspended for 2 games. Tyrell Wishart moves from the bench to the halfback position, and Kane Brayley joins the bench. Munster is still sidelined due to a groin injury, so Joan Peasant will join at 6. Question Welch is also sidelined after failing at HIA last week, so Tapiri Mawari joins the bench. So, I know this game is probably not going to be good, but, I should go in the head-to-head first. The past 10 games, Melbourne have won 9 of the past 10. However, Melbourne have won 12 of the past 15 games against the Knights, which includes winning 11 in a row between 2016 and last year, because the last time these two played, Newcastle shocked the rugby league landscape by upsetting Melbourne in 26 points to 18 in amongst their 10-game winning streak. I mean, wow. But for this one, I reckon Melbourne would just win this one by 4 points, 18 points to 14. For our first try scorer, let's go Xavier Coates to score the first try. For an entire try scorer, I reckon Jack Cogger will get a try for the Knights. So, Storm to win this one. Many people will disagree with this one, but I am a bit confident Melbourne will pull it off and will go 3-0, and Newcastle will still look to go for their first win. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude my 2024 Round 3 NRL tips. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, turn on those notifications so you don't miss out whenever I post a video. Anyway, so I got a couple things happening this week. I will be going to my first couple of rugby league games. Panthers versus Broncos, Roosters versus Rabbits, Dragons versus Cowboys, and Eels versus Manly at Bluebet, Allianz, Nostrada, and CommBank stadiums respectively. CommBank will be my first time. Allianz has been my 6th or 7th time now already. This will be the first time I'm going to Penrith as well since 2022. And this will be my second time returning to Cogra after I was there for the Charity Shield where we won that one 28 points to 6. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright, good luck with your tips as well this week. I hope you guys are doing better than me, because fuck, I'm doing terrible. 7 out of 16. That is just terrible. But anyways, I'll see you all in the next one.